Today on HandyDadTV, the video you've all been waiting for. Today I am installing my Rachio Flow Meter and announcing who wins the Rachio Gen 3. Coming up. Welcome to HandyDadTV. I'm Chris Heider, your virtual dad in the cloud. And today I am going to be installing the Rachio Flow Meter. I got this just about 2 weeks ago, and because of vacation and rain and whatnot, it took me a little while before I could actually get to it. And the first thing that I realized is the way I was assuming I would install it was not going to work for me. This is a 1-inch PVC fitting. It's the same size as a 1-inch PVC pipe. So I was assuming, since I have 1-inch PVC outside, that I was just going to be able to take 2 couplings, glue them on with PVC cement, and just put this in line and I'd be done. That's not the case, because what you need to do, and this is my first lesson learned, I'm going to share my screen here for you. We're going to go to rachio.com/flow. Okay, this is the first thing I want you to do before you even buy the flow meter. This is the Rachio Quick Start Guide. Okay, I didn't know about it until this little card came in the box. I looked at this and I realized the way I was assuming I would install it is not correct. The first thing it says is Rachio recommends professional installation. I'm going to tell you, you don't need professional installation. And if you do get into trouble and you do have a problem with it, then you can call a professional. But you can do this yourself, let me tell you, especially with the fittings that they recommend you use. The second bullet line item here says, Rachio recommends specific installation instructions based on your pipe size and material. Using any other installation methods than those recommended could damage your wireless flow meter and void the warranty. Look in red here. Using glue of any kind will damage your flow meter. So I was assuming I would just cement this in with PVC couplings. That's not the case. They're saying that the glue will damage it, and that's why I can't do it the way that I thought I was going to do it. The installation, they say, takes 30 minutes, but give 2 hours for it. It really doesn't take very long. Making sure your system is compatible. That's important too, but you should do this again before you buy the flow meter. Don't wait until you get it in hand. It says the installation site must be within 300 feet of an installed Rachio version 3, generation 3. Okay, so you have to have the new Gen 3 and you have to have this within 300 feet. This uses radio frequency, not your Wi-Fi. So it communicates directly between this device and your Rachio, your timer, your controller. You do have to have a backflow preventer installed above ground, and there has to be 6 inches of straight pipe coming from your backflow preventer to where you can put this in. Okay, the flow meter also has to be installed after the backflow preventer. You understand what that means? The water comes from your house into your backflow preventer and then starts going down towards your valves. That's where you're going to install this. The system must have 3/4 or 1-inch pipe. Chances are that's what you have. Okay, so then at this point, this is a good picture here. So this picture shows you that the water comes in from the house. The water supply is on the left and it goes to your backflow preventer and then it goes down to the flow meter. That's the direction towards your valve box. And you can see that it requires 6 inches minimum coming out of your backflow preventer. All right? Pretty straightforward, but you want to make sure your system will work with this before you get started, before you even buy it. All right? So you're going to identify which type of pipe you have. It's pretty straightforward. And then you're going to identify the pipe size. Like I said, you're really going to have 2 choices, 3/4 or 1-inch. And if it's PVC or PEX, you should be able to see writing on the side of it that shows you the actual size of the pipe. And if you're not sure, that's where they say, hey, get a professional. And I agree. If you can't identify the pipe size, you might want somebody else to look at it. At this point, it gets into specific installation instructions depending upon the type of pipe and size that you're dealing with. So when you come down here, each one of these is a link. You pick the one you need. Now in my situation, it is 1-inch PVC. So when I click on that, it takes me to another page that is dedicated to this specific type of installation. So in each one of these situations, it gives you the required fittings that you're going to need. Now obviously they don't come in the box because everybody's installation is a little bit different. There are 6 different alternatives here and different types of fittings for each one of them. So in my situation, I need 2 1-inch PVC lock fittings. Now it says they're Orbit brand. It even gives a model number. They know this one works. There could be other ones if you go to a plumbing supply or whatever, but it's saying that they're available at Home Depot, Lowe's, or Amazon. Well, I checked on Amazon and somebody was selling them for like $9 a piece. Well, in reality, they're really cheap. I got these from Home Depot. I bought them and had them delivered to the store, so I paid no shipping. They didn't have them in the store, and this is meant, it's a slip-on, it's like a shark bite fitting. The way that it works is there are these little barbs on here that when the pipe gets pushed on, there's a rubber seal. It's blue. I don't know if you can see it. That blue rubber seal in there seals around the pipe, and these barbs grab onto the pipe. So you push it in all the way from this side, you push it in all the way from that side, and that creates a watertight joint. And one of them is going to go on here, and the other one is going to go on my PVC pipe coming out of the ground. Actually, I'm going to do it from both sides, of course. So I needed to get 2 of them. But if I'm not mistaken, these things were less than $3 a piece from Home Depot. They just didn't have them in stock in my store. But they got them for me, no problem. But I did have to wait. So again, if you take a look at this guide beforehand, you will know what you need and you can order those parts while you're waiting for your flow meter to come. Makes sense, right? Okay. The only other thing that I need is 2 AA batteries. That's what goes on the back here. And then there is a, oh, it comes with the batteries. You can tell I didn't practice this, right? It has a watertight seal on the battery door and 4 screws that it comes with as well. And that's it. That's the whole flow meter. Let's look at some of the other things that it says you're going to need. So you're going to have to cut your pipe somehow, whether it be a tubing cutter, which is good for 3/4 inch copper or even 1-inch copper. After you cut the pipe, there's usually some kind of a burr on it because of just the way a tubing cutter works. So it says to use sandpaper or some kind of a deburring tool. And you want to take that sharp edge off because when you slide these kinds of things on, you don't want to rip that, that blue seal inside there, because if you do, it's going to leak. It tells you you're going to need some kind of a marker, as well as a ruler, and a Phillips screwdriver, and your smartphone. So that's all you need. Let's get to it now. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is have your Rachio online, okay? That's the blue bar all the way across. So that's the, again, Gen 3. It only works with Gen 3. You can't use this with Gen 2. And what you're going to do is come into the app. Under More, you go to Accessories. And in there you see Add Wireless Flow Meter. So click that, and it walks you through the process. Now there is a barcode inside the battery door, right there. And so I'm going to scan that barcode, and it says success. Now it's time to pair the flow meter with my Rachio. Alright, batteries are in the flow meter and it is green. Before you continue, take the flow meter to the installation site. Okay, then I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to bring it over where it's going to be. I probably should have put the batteries in over there, but what are you going to do? All right, now, before pairing, insert the 2 AA batteries, which I did. So now I'm going to pair it. It may take up to 2 minutes. It's paired. The LED will turn off after a few minutes, but the flow meter will be active. Good. Okay, now I have to attach the battery cover. All right, I guess at this point, let's move over to where it is. right, now that the batteries are installed, this is where my flow meter is going to go. And that will allow me to get at it from either side. I'll be able to see the light. I'll be able to get at the batteries to replace those. This is my backflow preventer. The next step that they tell me to do is to turn off the water and flush the system. So flushing the system is simply a matter of grabbing my phone and telling my Rachio to do a quick run. All right, we talked before about the sizing of the pipe. This is 1 inch, and I can tell that because right on this elbow, it has a 1 inch fit. That's the fitting size. So I know that's 1 inch. I also have poly pipe here. This is what's coming from the house. I have drained the system, or at least relieved the pressure. To do that, I turned on zone 1, and then I turned these valves off. That cuts off the water flow, so there's no pressure in this line. Now I can mark it and then cut it. Now to mark it, they say you should use a rigid tape or a ruler of some sort. So this is old-fashioned. I got it from my dad. And you just have to have 6 inches down from the elbow coming out of my backflow preventer. So this has to be straight 6 inches. So I'm going to make a mark at 6 inches. All right, and then they say measure 6.5 inches down from that and make another mark. Those are my 2 cut lines, so they say to put an X on those marks. Okay, you can see these better. So these are my cut lines. This is 6 inches down from here and 6.5 inches between the two. And I put X's on those because those are the cut lines. The next thing you do is measure up 1 inch from each of those lines. Well, away, because this one goes up and this one goes down. One inch. Okay, so those little marks are how far I'm going to push in these fittings, these couplings. Cut, cut, push in, push in. That's all it should be. Now, let's talk about cutting the pipe. If you're dealing with copper, you probably have a tubing cutter that looks something like this or like this. They have small wheels in here that are hardened steel, and they're useful for cutting tubing. Now, this one is not big enough for 1 inch. This is only good enough for 3/4 inch, and this one is only good enough for 3/4 inch as well. So I can't use those anyway because this is for copper, but you may have these. If you have copper, you're going to need that kind of thing. For PVC, they make bigger ones. This one goes up to 2.5 inch. This will cut PVC, and it's got a much deeper wheel on it. The trouble is, I can't swing this around here, so I'm not going to be able to use that either. So for me, the best bet is a hacksaw. This is a small hacksaw. You may have a bigger one, but I'm going to cut through in these 2 places, and I'm going to take out that piece in the middle. I'm going to try my best to keep it as straight as possible. Okay. All right, one side is done. All right, bit of a workout, but it's cut. So that's the 6.5 inch piece that is going to be where the flow meter goes, in here. And the good thing is this is flexible so that I can maneuver them onto there. Now, as far as the burrs on the edge, you can see there is rough, there's rough PVC sawdust, if you want to call it that. So use a piece of sandpaper or something like that to get those burrs off. The Rachio gets installed with the arrow going towards the valves. That's the flow, the way the water flows through. So this is the orientation I want. And the benefit of these fittings is this is actually, it can be rotated. So if you only have access from one side, you can turn it around so you can get at the batteries. Now, my black marks from the top are missing, top and bottom, which means I've covered them up. These are in as far as they need to go, and you can see it's still in a nice straight line. So my cuts were accurate. Now I can turn the water back on. Give it a test with quick run again, front left. I hear the water going through, I could hear the air. And my zone 1 is on. Now it's off, and there are no leaks. Everything looks good. All right, back here in the garage, I can see my flow sensor is now installed under accessories. I can click on that and it tells me that it is connected, the battery is good, the signal strength is excellent, and it says it wants to calibrate it. So that's what I'm going to do for the first time. So Rachio must learn the baseline flow of each of your zones so that it can alert us if it goes higher or lower than what it expects. So nothing is running in the house, just like it would in the middle of the night. I have no dishwasher or washing machine or anything like that. Now it's going to test all of my zones to make sure that they are working properly. And it's going to go for 1 minute, so it's going to take 5 minutes for me to do this whole thing. All right, here you can see I'm calibrating. This is the last zone. All right, so calibration is completed. You can see here my zones use between 7.1 gallons per minute to 12 gallons per minute. And again, depends on the number of heads on the zone, depends on the size of the nozzle on each one of them. It could also depend on the number of bends in the way between the valve and the zones. You never know. So this is the baseline. It knows what each zone should use, and if it goes above or below that, it will warn me that there's a leak or a blockage in the line. The other thing it will do is it now can calculate exactly how many gallons of water are being used by my system on a daily basis. And that's a good thing. So, next step, let's talk about that contest. All right, let's get to this contest. As you know, it is for a Rachio version 3. That works with the flow meter, but the flow meter is not included, just the version 3 controller. Okay, for the contest, I'm going to be using a feature of TubeBuddy that is called Pick a Winner, and it takes a random comment from the video. You can see this is the video here. As of this moment, it has 8,537 views and 540 comments. So, good luck. I am going to pick a winner now. Just click this button here, and the winner is Jeff Kuo. I want the Rachio Gen 3, and hopefully they will add HomeKit support soon. Perfect timing to replace my system before hot summer Texas days. All right, congratulations to you and to all the others who participated and didn't win. I still highly recommend the Rachio. I think it's a good value. I bought my first Rachio, and I never regretted it, so I think you won't either. So thanks for playing, and I will see you in the next one. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDad.tv for more great ideas and information.